Chevy just did something nobody saw coming, and it is rewriting the rules for midsize trucks across America. For years, buyers assumed a V6 was the only realistic way to get real towing muscle out of a midsize pickup. No exceptions. Then Chevrolet dropped the 2.7-liter TurboMax 4-cylinder, and the entire segment had to rethink what a small engine could actually do. Now, with enthusiasts waiting on the 2027 Chevrolet Colorado, one thing is becoming impossible to ignore. This engine has completely changed what people expect from a midsize truck. Instead of chasing bigger displacement, General Motors went a completely different direction, engineering a compact gasoline engine that delivers torque closer to what you would expect from a diesel truck. Chevrolet has not confirmed the full specifications for the 2027 Colorado just yet, but the current TurboMax powertrain already tells us a whole lot about where this truck is headed next. If GM keeps refining this engine instead of walking away from it entirely, the next Colorado could stay one of the most capable trucks in its entire class. Let's talk about how a small engine ended up performing like a big one. The current Chevrolet Colorado is built around the 2.7-liter TurboMax, known internally as the L3B. Unlike a lot of turbocharged 4-cylinders that started life in passenger cars and got adapted later for trucks, this engine was designed from the ground up for truck duty from the very first sketch. This distinction matters a lot because truck owners need dependable, consistent torque while towing, hauling heavy loads, climbing steep grades, or tackling rough off-road terrain, not just a quick burst of power off the line at a stoplight. Right now, the Colorado is putting out 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque, paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it can tow up to 7,700 pounds when properly equipped. Those numbers put the Colorado near the very top of the mid-size truck class today, ahead of plenty of trucks that still rely on larger, thirstier engines. In fact, its torque output beats several naturally aspirated V8 engines from just a decade ago, which says a lot about how far turbocharged truck technology has come in a relatively short amount of time. So why does this engine feel like it was truly built for trucks? Engineers didn't just pull a passenger car engine and drop it into a pickup. GM built the L3B with heavy-duty use in mind from day one, right from the earliest design stage. It runs a deep-skirt aluminum block for added strength, a forged steel crankshaft, fully forged connecting rods, direct fuel injection, a dual-volute turbocharger, an active thermal management system, and a continuously variable oil pump. These are the kinds of components you normally see on engines meant to handle sustained loads, not just occasional bursts of acceleration. That's a big part of why this 4-cylinder holds up so well under real truck work. Now here's something a lot of buyers overlook. Horsepower gets the headlines and the bragging rights, but torque is what actually moves a truck day to day. One of the biggest strengths of the TurboMax is how early that torque shows up in the rev range. Instead of needing high RPM like a lot of naturally aspirated engines do to hit their peak, the TurboMax delivers its strongest pulling power at relatively low engine speeds, right where you actually need it in everyday driving. For everyday drivers, that translates into easier towing, stronger highway merging when you need to get up to speed fast, quicker acceleration with cargo loaded in the bed, and noticeably less downshifting when you're climbing steep grades with a trailer behind you. Most engineers agree that broad, low-end torque matters more in a pickup than chasing peak horsepower numbers on a spec sheet, because that's the kind of power you actually feel behind the wheel. And this engine isn't just about power, it's efficient too. Turbocharging lets a smaller engine deliver output that used to require a much bigger power plant under the hood. Because the TurboMax runs on less displacement during normal, light driving around town, it can improve fuel efficiency compared to larger, naturally aspirated engines, while still bringing serious performance the moment you need boost for towing or passing on the highway. Real-world fuel economy will always depend on driving style, payload, terrain, and configuration, but downsized turbocharged engines like this one are playing a major role in helping automakers meet tougher emissions and efficiency standards without sacrificing the capability that truck buyers expect. This isn't a one-truck story either. Part of the reason experts remain confident about the TurboMax is how far it has already spread across the entire GM lineup, not just one model. This same engine family now powers the Chevrolet Colorado, the GMC Canyon, and even a TurboMax version of the Chevrolet Silverado 1500. Using one engine family across multiple truck platforms lets GM sharpen durability, fine-tune calibration, and benefit from large-scale production experience, which usually means a more refined and more reliable engine over time. Off-road capability is where this engine really earns respect. The Colorado ZR2 gets a lot of praise for its off-road performance, and while the suspension gets most of the attention in reviews and marketing, the TurboMax deserves real credit too, because none of that suspension work matters if the power delivery underneath it isn't right. Off-road driving demands immediate, precise throttle response when you're climbing rocks, working through sand, or crossing rough, uneven terrain where hesitation can cost you traction. Because peak torque arrives so quickly with this engine, it delivers smooth, usable power without needing to rev high, which helps maintain traction and cuts down on unnecessary wheel spin when the trail gets technical and every bit of control matters. It's easy to assume the turbocharger alone explains this engine's performance, but that's only part of the picture. Several engineering features work together here, each doing its own job. The L3B uses active thermal management to warm up quickly and keep operating temperatures under tight control across a wide range of driving conditions. It runs variable valve timing and lift for better efficiency whether you're cruising light or working hard, direct fuel injection for more precise combustion and cleaner power delivery, and in certain applications, cylinder deactivation under light loads to improve fuel economy without you ever noticing the switch. All of these systems working together in harmony are what make this engine perform the way it does, not just the turbo bolted onto it. So, what could change for 2027? Chevrolet still hasn't released official details on the 2027 Colorado as of right now. But recent updates to the 2027 Silverado give us a strong hint, showing that GM continues to invest heavily in the TurboMax engine, while pairing updated versions with improved transmissions and broader refinements across the board. That tells us the company still views this engine as a central part of its truck strategy going forward. If similar upgrades make their way to the Colorado, we could be looking at revised engine calibration, improved transmission tuning, better fuel efficiency, smarter towing software, updated cooling systems, and expanded driver assistance technology. Keep in mind, these are informed expectations based on GM's current direction, not confirmed specifications for the next Colorado. Now let's talk reliability, because that question always comes up with turbocharged engines, and rightfully so. Like any modern turbo engine, long-term reliability really comes down to how well the owner maintains it over the years. Experts consistently recommend sticking closely to oil change intervals rather than stretching them out, using the exact oil grade the manufacturer specifies for this engine, letting it reach full operating temperature before putting it under heavy load right out of the driveway, staying on top of scheduled cooling system maintenance, and addressing warning lights right away instead of putting off repairs and hoping the problem goes away on its own. Turbocharged engines simply place more demand on lubrication and thermal management than older, naturally aspirated designs did, which makes staying ahead of maintenance especially important if you want an engine like this to go the distance. So here's the bottom line for anyone still on the fence. The Chevrolet TurboMax represents a real shift in how truck engines are being designed going forward. Instead of leaning on bigger displacement, GM focused on squeezing strong, genuinely usable performance out of a 2.7-liter engine built specifically for pickup truck duty. The combination of 310 horsepower, 430 pound-feet of torque, tough internal components, and truck-focused engineering has already proven one thing clearly: four-cylinder power no longer means you're compromising on capability. Until Chevrolet officially reveals the 2027 Colorado, nobody can say exactly what's coming next. But if GM keeps refining the TurboMax formula instead of replacing it outright, the next generation Colorado has every chance to remain one of the strongest, most capable trucks in the entire mid-size segment for years to come.